Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't always go to church, did you?
No, I didn't always go to church.
I didn't either.
It's kind of scandalous for a priest to say, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know about you, I actually find it helpful because I understand where people are coming from.
Yeah. I'm a converted Christian now. I found the Lord Jesus, and I know what is to be received at Mass.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Probably 8 to 10 years. I walked into a church building 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 times a year, but that was about it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, my own experience going to Mass, I'd sit in the back, usually got there late, dodged out early, you know, kind of time it so that I get there during the first reading if I'm lucky, and then like bolt right after communion. Mm-hmm. But even though I was doing all that, I knew I was playing a game.
Right.
I knew it wasn't the right thing to do. Yeah. But I never understood what was happening. Like I would watch what was going on in the sanctuary, and I would look at the priest and I'd say, something's happening up there.
Yeah, same thing with me.
But I don't know what it is.
Yeah, what is going on? What do the readings mean? These are difficult things. I don't know what's going on.
I think it's a common thing. So if you're there in the pew, know that both of us felt the way some of you feel right now.
Yeah,
we just want to offer a couple really practical things that, from our own experience, we found to be helpful first as laymen and now as priests, right? So a great thing to do in advance would be to read the readings. Many of us don't even know, but you can find in advance what we're going to be hearing in the Gospels and in the Old Testament and the New Testament, right?
That's right. If we're hearing the Gospel for the first time when we're coming to Mass on Sunday, some of that stuff could really be different to us. It could be very confusing. So if we're reading it ahead of time, and then we're hearing it a second or a third, maybe even a fourth time on Sunday, we've prayed with it with our family, we're receiving it, and it's entering into our hearts so much more. Then the priest preaches on it, it begins to make sense.
This is especially key if you got kids.
Absolutely.
Because we know, believe me, we know how distracting you can be at Mass, right? So you get there at Mass and the kids are romping all over the place and you're trying to keep everybody somewhat organized and basically hushed, and then you miss the readings.
Absolutely.
So if you read them in advance, the Lord's already begun to speak to you, and now there's a place for it to get planted more deeply into your heart. So first thing, read the readings in advance. It's not up to us. We don't make them up. Nope. We actually follow a schedule that's preset. What's another thing we can do?
Second thing that I would say is to enter into the liturgy more devoutly. You know, the Second Vatican Council asks us to be fully active and participating in the sacred mysteries that are taking place here. And that means just to understand that when we step into at Mass, that we're entering into heaven, that we are taking place and we're worshiping with the angels at the throne of God in heaven.
Yeah, and what Jesus is trying to teach us all when we come to Mass is how to offer ourselves and all that we do to the Father.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about. So he speaks to us in his word. Then he gives himself to us in the Eucharist to conform us to himself so that we can offer our work, our play, our studies, our friends, our marriage, our family, our priesthood back to God in a way that's pleasing to him. And then we can go tell people about where we've been and what we've seen, what we've heard, right?
That's the whole purpose, is to convert the rest of the world to Jesus Christ.
Yeah, which doesn't mean to pound them on top of the head with the Bible.
No.
It means to share with people what it is that he has done for us. Anything else we can do to better enter into Mass?
Yeah, I would say we really have to slow down and just thank God at the end of Mass. You know, a couple weeks ago, you and I, we asked Matthew just to play the final verse of the song, and then we all knelt down as a whole family of God.
Whole congregation, it was awesome.
We just prayed in silence and thanked God for it.
Yeah.
Tons of emails thanking us, and I really think that that's something else that we can do, just to enter into what we have just received and thank God for it.
Gratitude's the key. So imagine Christmas Day, or you had invited me over to your house and you guys served me this incredible feast. Your mom knocks herself out, and then it comes time for dessert and coffee, and she puts the pie on the plate, and I just slip out the garage door and drive home.
Yeah.
What would that be? Right? I mean, wouldn't your mom be terribly offended?
She would be.
Absolutely. And wouldn't it be appropriate for me to say, Mrs. Mateja, that was an amazing meal, right? Well, we just fed on God, right? So the Eucharist is the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus. And if it's not, don't waste time coming here. But if it is, if God gives himself under the appearance of bread and wine so that we can be united with him, the appropriate response would be, take a minute and say thank you.
Yeah.
Now, he's going to kill anybody, right?
And you can look online for different prayers that you can say to as a means of thanksgiving, but just sit in silence. There's so much hustle and bustle throughout our days. We just need to sit with the Lord in a little bit of silence and just thank Him.
Gratitude is the heart of prayer. No better place to practice that than when we come to Mass, listen to Him in His Word, feed on Him in the Eucharist, and then prepare to go out into the world and to tell others about what He's done for us.